Hey, everybody, we're here for a new episode of Five for Talking, the first episode of 2024, coming off the hiatus of the holiday break. I hope you had a good time and a good New Year's. I'm here with Caps, the captain of the show. We got a couple topics here today. We're going to talk about some hockey, and I'm hoping that's what you came for. And if you're here for the hockey, like and subscribe. Drop a comment. Tell us we're silly. We like it. Um, so let's talk. You had something you wanted to say about Kirk Cousins, the quarterback.
Oh, come on. Um, so Nick Cousins, who plays for the Florida Panthers, seems to be getting away with a lot of crap. His dirty hits on the Columbus player, Mark Scheifele. There was another incident, and any time that a teammate retaliates against Cousins, it's like you see him at the bottom of a pile, just covering up and trying to avoid getting hit. But it seems as though that there isn't accountability. There isn't any accountability on Nick Cousins here. And it always seems to go towards that teammate that always retaliates. It's kind of shameful and disappointing towards the league that, there's intent to hurt. That's my issue when it comes to Cousins, especially when you have that Columbus player who was in a compromising position, total headshot, and the guy doesn't face a suspension. It's disappointing, and that kind of stuff that
What
needs to
was
change.
the recent one was on Coyote or against the Ducks, right?
Believe it's Columbus. Did I see that? Zucker, I think, was the person that retaliated, and he was the only
Oh
person
yeah,
that got
Cousins is
suspended.
sorry, Cousins is on Florida, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And it was on Arizona. It was on Arizona, the
It was
recent one.
Arizona. Okay, yeah, you're right. I got the
Columbus was the one before. Columbus was the one
Zucker
before.
was, yeah.
But
Zucker retaliated, and he was the only one that got a suspension. I was like,
but
it's
okay. In fairness
horrible.
to former Sacramento Kings center DeMarcus Cousins, um, I I think the intent was there in that play against Arizona, but I don't think the hit was dirty because I don't feel like he made contact. Like really. I think the Zucker hit was dirty as hell. I understand that it's like you're sticking up for your teammate, but I still don't think that one guy doing something wrong and then another guy doing something double as wrong is makes it okay.
I never said that. No, I
And I'm
totally
not
agree
I'm
with
not
you.
saying you said that. I'm not saying you
Totally
said that.
agree with
But
you.
I feel that's how Kevin Biesca felt when in his comments.
Yeah, two wrongs definitely don't make a right in this
And
case. But
and Zucker's hit was much, much dirtier than Cousins was.
oh, definitely intense. No doubt about it.
And he skated from very far away at full speed and went right at his head.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
But my feeling is so that Cousins is definitely a repeat offender here, and there definitely needs to be some repercussions towards Cousins here.
But do you think that they're gonna do that? Because I feel like it's been a really strange situation. If it's not like Nazem Kadri, nobody gets
Nausea
suspended. No one gets suspended for anything if it's not Kadri.
or Bunting.
Like Brad Marchand basically does whatever he wants.
Yeah, no, I mean, my feeling is that it needs to be consistent all across the board. I mean, Marchand has been suspended in the past, but it just needs to be there needs to be a little more consistency. That's pretty much all I'm saying. Especially with a guy that keeps doing it. This is three times I saw in the video where he's just hitting someone with intent to injure. Um, but yeah, no, definitely two wrongs do not make a right in this case. But there should have been some sort of hearing or some sort of suspension on Cousins as well, in my eyes, at least.
Yeah, I think he should have definitely got suspended for the previous hits, regardless of this one.
Yeah.
Um, the prior hit to this one, which I believe was the Columbus one, was like super dirty. Um,
But no, it's just my feelings that I'm very disappointed in George Peros and the safety Department of Safety here. There needs
I
to be a little
mean,
more consistency, and I think he
George
needs to
Peros
change
doesn't
things up.
have many remaining brain cells to be someone in the position that he's in the first place.
Wow. Yeah. Hey,
And we might as well
I
make George LaRock that guy.
get the feeling that he might be the next guy at some point. Just got this feeling that George Rock might be the next guy.
I mean,
That'll be,
just make it Ty Domi. Um,
I don't think I. Well, that's a great question. That's a hell of a comment there. Like, I don't think he can because it would be a conflict of interest. His son is still playing for the league,
fair.
correct? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's
I
an
never
interesting
thought of
question.
that.
But that's an interesting question that
Yeah, yeah. He won't be in the league for that much longer. So no, but joking aside, I agree with you. I think, and this you could take it how you want because I personally actually really like the guy and like a lot of his commentary on hockey, knowing the inside scoops and stuff. But this time, I think Bieksa is just like an angry, like little schoolboy that's upset about something, and like I understand the point he's trying to make, but he's coming at it in the wrong way. You said it a lot better, in my opinion. There needs to be accountability for him, not like people need to go out and take shots at him. Like that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I like your point there. I appreciate the compliment. um, but aside from that, Kevin Bieksa is probably one of the reasons why I tune into CBC on a Saturday night. You know what I mean? It's like,
He's legitimately the best part.
yeah, he's legit the best.
Okay, so do you want to move on from this?
Sure. We could talk about Bedard. Man, sucks.
Did
What
they
the guy's
announce how
lined up to
long?
win the Calder. But the injury is going to set him back a little bit. I don't think he'll miss a lot of time, even with a fractured jaw. He can still come back and play. With a cage. I don't think it'll slow him down too much. He definitely does need to be careful because that team is going through some injuries. I think Foligno's out as well.
They
But
they beat Calgary tonight,
wow,
that's crazy.
was Bedard playing? By the way, I'm
No, I
sorry.
don't think he
I hit
was.
you with a question that I
I
wasn't
can
prepared for.
definitely tell you that right now if you just hold on like 37 seconds.
37 seconds of holding on. Do you think he'll play in the All-Star game?
What do you know when it is exactly? No, he didn't play
The
tonight.
All-Star game? I don't know. It might be at the end of the month because I do see games every weekend of this month. Usually they play in January here.
It's in Toronto.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's definitely in Toronto.
February. It's in February.
Yeah, that makes sense. So there's still a chance that he might play.
Yeah, the NHL definitely wants him there.
They need him there. Let's be honest. The All-Star game, it's boring. It's I haven't watched in years. It's like a parody. But they need these stars there. They need some of these guys there. I don't like the rule of having two players per team. Um, you know, let's like not every team's got two stars.
I
There
I
are some
like
teams that have more than two.
I stick with the idea that one person from every team should make it,
Definitely,
and then you fill out the roster spots with voting.
yeah, yeah. Because a lot of teams they don't have two stars, and there are teams that have four. So,
We're going back to is this year going back to the traditional format? I'm sorry, I am not very unequipped for All-Star game conversation.
Neither am I. I mean, I haven't watched in a long, long time. I just thought it was boring, and they need to change it up. I know that this year they're going to change a few things. I don't know exactly what it is that they're going to change. I thought last year was just like ridiculous. Um, but I know they are going to change a few things up this year. Let's just see what they are because I'm not entirely sure what exactly they are. But the All Star game, they definitely do need to change things up. It's a game where a lot of people are not trying. They're there for the exposure, for the corporate sponsors, for the fans. It is for the fans, but it's a boring game. It's definitely boring.
Yeah.
So
I think most people are just there for the skills competition, and then after that, nobody cares. Um,
That's it.
so I mean, general NHL, other than the fact that Edmonton has made a nice little comeback.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the standings. I mean, Edmonton's got what, 7 straight wins. You got Winnipeg that's just tearing it up. Vancouver's still playing well. Florida's got 8 straight wins. Um, uh,
And Dallas, who they were all talking about prior to this 3-game losing streak, about they were the greatest team that we've seen in a couple of years, and they've looked pretty crappy the last 3.
they look pretty crappy as of the last 3. Boston is kind of up and down as of late. Um, Vancouver is still strong. I think I mentioned that already. New York Rangers are still strong. Tampa, Vasilevsky hasn't been playing up to speed yet.
Carolina
Um,
saved our asses and actually started playing good and to make us not look bad.
yeah.
Thank you, Carolina.
So some of the teams that we predicted in the beginning of the season are starting to come back around. Ottawa's, my God, Ottawa's just so bad right now.
And I don't know
They are
why.
in limbo. I mean, they got Jacques Martin to come back after how many years? I think what the long term plan is that they're grooming Daniel Afferson to be the next coach, but it's just they are in limbo right now. They are not playing well. So a lot of things are going around in the NHL right now.
Yeah, the Metropolitan Division is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, except for Columbus, every single team in there is good. So like that, I don't know what to say about that. Let's talk about the Leafs.
So it's Leaf talk now, right?
We'll do Leaf talk now.
Okay. Talk about the elephant in the room.
Tell me about all the elephants.
Well, it's just the biggest one. You got the some of the analysts were talking about that they were going to announce it sometime last week. It's probably this week, or it might be just before the All Star game. But the potential big announcement is that Nylander is going to sign an 8-year extension worth about 11.25 or $11.5 million a year. Whew.
I would have
Um,
gave him I would have gave him 10 or 10.5 for that 7 or 8. I think you're giving him about $1 million more than you should.
well, let's face facts. I think he feels as though he probably played out of that $10 million a year salary into the 11.5 with his crazy
Maybe
playing this
this
year.
season specifically.
Yeah,
I mean, not to say he did bad last year or the year before, but those were not over $10 million seasons.
last year,
Those are
no.
like $8 million guy, $9 million guy seasons.
When you're playing for a team that has a GM that kind of fights for what they should be paying these guys, I agree. But this team, they just pay these guys anything they want, and it's just going to get them in trouble. Let's just
So
face facts. They're going to give. Let's just face facts. They're going to resign Marner. They're going to give him a raise. All right. The cap is going to go up to cover some of these contracts that are given to some of these guys. We know that Tavares is going to. They're not going to pay him the same amount of money. He might even get a pay cut of probably half of what he's making right now. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think that it's going to be enough money to get decent players to support this core 4,
it's
5, 3, whatever the hell it
uh,
is.
they number one, they need a legitimate defenseman, a real legitimate superstar, legitimate defenseman. Number one,
Stay at home defenseman, right?
a real star defenseman, not a fucking guy that's going to come in and try to score a goal. Sorry for swearing. Number 2.
But before you move on, I love that point. It's going to have to be a person for no more than $5 million a year.
And you're
It
not
has
getting
to be.
that. So that's
And
already,
it's crazy.
you're
Yeah.
hurting yourself. Number 1.
Yep.
Number 2, you need a real, actual, legitimate, real number 1 starting goalie. Okay. And I'm ready to take the comments again. I'm ready to die on this hill. What has Mitch Marner done since the last time we criticized him, except for get some more assists secondarily or passing to people that were already going to score the goal? And number 2, Justin Wall is not a good goalie. He's fine. He's a really good backup. He's a starter on maybe 2 of the 32 league teams in the league. He's not a guy that should be your starting goalie on a top 5 team. I
He's
know
not there
he's
yet.
injured.
Yeah, he's not there yet. He might be able to he might turn into one, but as of right now, you are absolutely correct. He is not. He's
And I don't
not
know what
going
happened to Samsonov, because I had his back all the way through this bullshit, and he's just. Did you see his press conference? Did you
his
hear his
mind
press
is no.
conference? And then the next game went out and played the doo-dooest game ever and got cut.
Like, yeah, man, his mind is gone. When he got pulled the second to last game, he immediately went into that like that little hallway that goes into the dressing room. He sat down and he just like, face to palm. Like he was like just out of it. Like he was so disappointed in himself. And he's gonna have to, like, the skills are there. He's just gonna have to work on his mind and kind of gain his confidence back.
Yeah.
Because he's a ways away right now.
Not
And
not going to pretend he played good, but I'm also not going to let the defense get away with thinking that it was the goalie's fault, because like they suck.
they didn't help him. They didn't help him.
5 of 5, arguably, you could maybe make the argument that 2 of them are good, but 5 out of our 6 defensemen suck. And like,
but in the last 3 games, they did step up.
yeah, but it's not like we're facing Boston and the Rangers.
Absolutely. The LA game was pretty good.
And LA is good, but if you look at LA's record lately, they've been losing. They lost like 6 in a row.
Yeah. But do you agree that one of the least challenges is that some of these lower teams they face, they play down to them and they allow these teams to
which it's good to see that they're trying to turn that around.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen when you face a red hot Florida?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think a lot of analysts, as of right now, are saying that if the Leafs were to face Florida right now, Florida would kick their ass. And I would have to agree.
Tampa Bay's playing pretty good right now, too.
Vasilevsky still,
I know, and Vasilevsky's still not like 1,000%.
Yeah. I mean,
listen, I'm not trying to be harsh.
No. You're being realistic.
I want to be realistic. I don't want to sugarcoat Leaf BS. Like, we got to talk for real, right?
You are being absolutely 100% realistic. And it's important, because if they don't address some of these issues, let's just face facts. They are playing well right now. Structurally, they are playing better now than they were 10 games ago.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Leafs think that they're going into the playoffs thinking that they're going to win the Stanley Cup with Brody as their second guy, sorry, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, let's just face facts on top of this. That second unit is not very good either.
No. There needs to be a few things that need to be addressed. I'm not liking the way Max Domi is playing in the last couple of games. Nicholas Robertson is lost. Like, is he good? He can be a good player. But the fact of the matter is that he goes up against another team with a bunch of big guys on there. He's going to get muscled off the puck, and he is going to be utterly useless. It's not going to work with him. That's my opinion. That's what I see when I watch the games. You got Holmberg, who's replaced him. wow, it's like he is a very good defensive player, but you are not going to get scoring on that. You're not going to get good depth scoring if you have Holmberg as a third line winger. Um, we can go up and down that team. Bertuzzi is playing better. I like Nyes. Um, Tavares,
Tavares has been pretty good.
he's
Matthews has
okay.
been good.
Yeah,
Nylander's on fire.
Nylander's on fire. Marner pisses me off sometimes, but I think he's playing better. But he does make those same mistakes where he gives it away in his own end a couple times a game, and that needs to be cleaned up. Um, you know, I think yeah, Yonkrock has been one of their most reliable
Yarncroc has been really
players.
good.
That fourth line, decent. I think Camps is okay. I really like McMahon. Um, but when we're going into the defense, their best. It's funny for me to say, but the best pairing is Benoit and McCabe, not Brody and Riley,
No, it's definitely
which
not
should
Brody
be.
and Riley. I don't
You know,
think Riley has played defense once this entire season.
he's been playing okay, but yeah, you're right. It's like he has not been the guy to call on when it comes to closing out some of those games defensively. It's been McCabe and Benoit.
Yeah. I'd rather have Giordano out there if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, that guy still blocks shots. Like it's crazy. Lilligren, he still needs to clean up a few things too. A few giveaways in their own ends, but you know, I mean, this is not the team to go deep into the playoffs with. I'm just saying that right now.
Well,
If these
until
guys
they
think they're
figure
going to
out the
win the
goalie
Stanley Cup with this team,
situation, they're not going deep
yeah.
anywhere.
Let's face it. Martin Jones playing great.
Yeah,
I,
but
I really
Martin
like him.
Jones is a veteran goalie that's if throughout most of his career has been a solid starting goalie.
Yeah, yeah. Like, but
But he's old. He can't play 10 games in a row.
which it's yeah. I mean, everything is correct. I mean, but there needs to be a few things that need to be addressed at the trade deadline if they're able to, and I'm not sure how they're going to be able to do it, but they need to
Well,
figure it out.
this is a one thing, right? You shot yourself in the foot. Whoever didn't take a swing at trying to get Hellebuck because you're not getting him now. They're number
He
one in
ain't
their
going anywhere.
division.
Winnipeg's
They're
doing
not
amazing.
he's not trading. He's not getting traded anymore.
No, no.
And the teams that you probably could pull a goalie from at this point don't have anyone that's worth going after.
But anyway,
All
yeah,
right.
that's my take, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Take your take and take your steak. All right, guys.
Light it up in the comments. Let us
I,
know what you
I
think.
don't have anything else. You're good, right?
No, man, I gotta go back to cooking.
All right. He's got to go back to cooking. Thank you for watching. And, do.
Do.